Happy Easter, everyone. Recorded by Richter, back with a brand new segment for you. I am recording this on Easter. You won't see it on Easter, but that is when I'm getting this done. Anyhow, I am back with a movie review today, and I'm actually cutting a few different reviews today. You're going to be getting one of this movie that I'm working on today, which is Project Hail Mary. I also saw a documentary in theaters recently called The AI Doc with my girlfriend Jen a couple days ago, and so I'll be cutting one on that. And then I also just finished a science fiction book called Parable of the Sower. So all of these films and books that I'm currently working on are kind of cut from the same cloth in a sense. So it'll be interesting to have a lot of science fiction and AI talk and all that in the next few videos to come. But anyways, Project Hail Mary is the movie that I'm here to talk about today, which is the new science fiction film starring Ryan Gosling as Raylan Grace, Sandra Hüller as Ava Stratt, Milana Vayntrub as Olessa, James Ortiz as Rocky, Liz Kingsman as Shapiro, Lionel Boyce as Officer Carl, which that made my heart happy to see. If you're a music fan like I am, Lionel is a member of Odd Future, and so it was cool to see him in The Bear, and now he's in this too, so his acting career is taken off. Henling as Yao, and that was pretty much the main characters. Before I get into the plot and all of that, I would like to say, please interact with this video for me. That's how I grow on this channel. It really helps me big time. So if you could subscribe, if you can comment, share it, send it to somebody. If you leave comments or want to have a discourse in the comment section, I always return the comments. I always get back to people. That's what I have in mind for this, is I want to make it community based, and I sometimes will bring some of the comments and stuff that I read to the next video. So please interact with me there. It means the world to me. And before I kind of read the plot down to it, I just wanted to kind of give my feelings on the movie. And you know, I went into this not knowing a ton about it, other than I'd seen Ryan Gosling doing lots of talk shows in preparation for it, and you know, there was a lot of talk about him, you know, wearing these cardigan sweaters that are now all popular, and it's hilarious how things like that have the ability to shift culture and fashion and all this stuff. So I think that's hilarious. I love cardigan sweaters. I wear them all the time. But anyhow, I thought this movie in general was sort of just like a cute science fiction movie. It wasn't like a hard-hitting alien type movie, or it didn't lean horror at all. It leaned more Disney than it leaned, you know, into like deep, nerdy science fiction. This was more palatable for the masses, if you will. But anyways, I thought Ryan Gosling was great in it. He gave a really emotionally captivating performance, especially being that he was acting with, you know, a CGI rock for essentially the whole movie. There was parts of it that were dark, more so leading into the mission and him recollecting his memories throughout the film as the amnesia in him wore off. But for the most part, it was just him in this rock that was this other life form that he encounters throughout his journey. So that's basically where I'll leave it at with my feelings, and now I'll get into more of the meat and potatoes of the movie. Project Hail Mary is a 2026 science fiction film. It is produced and directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. It was written by Drew Goddard, and it's based on the 2021 novel by Andy Weir. And it stars Ryan Gosling and all those people that I just mentioned. And basically what the gist of it is Ryan Gosling's character, Raylan Grace, is a middle school science teacher who used to be a molecular biologist. And he had wrote a journal entry about the climate crisis that the world is facing in the time that this movie takes place. And essentially what's happening is there is a virus that is slowly eating the sun, or part of the sun. And so within 30 years, there's going to be a rapid cooling of the earth. And so it'll lead to, you know, a lot of death and destruction and, you know, and rapid evolution and all this other stuff going on. So he's basically approached by the government, which it is Sandra Hüller, who is Ava Stratt. She approaches him and works with like NASA and stuff, and she basically wants to bend his ear about what he thinks is happening, and they devise this plan and this space mission to go and save the world, essentially. So basically in this movie, Ryan Gosling awakens on this ship with no memory of how he got there, and slowly is piecing together that he was one of a 3-person crew and the only one left alive, and he has amnesia, so he's trying to figure out how he got there and what's going on. He is off in a distant solar system, very far away from Earth. As he's trying to uncover what's happening to him, he comes in contact with an alien spacecraft, essentially. And throughout the movie, kind of works his nerve up to contacting and getting in contact with the alien spacecraft, and that's when this unlikely relationship develops with the character Rocky, who is essentially an alien life form who looks like a bunch of rocks, honestly. I would like to know like the behind the scenes in that, because he's just communicating with this, what I'm sure is some sort of CGI throughout the whole movie, and he gives such a great emotional connected performance. And I would love to know, how he did that and what it was like. I would love to see like a behind the scenes. Maybe I'll have to get like the Blu-ray or something when it finally comes out. But it was really cool in that sense. And a little bit more about the movie is this mission that they go on. It's really kind of confusing emotionally, because there's parts of it that are really dark, specifically how Ryan Gosling's character was put on the ship in the first place. That part is really dark, but it's really like a heartwarming movie for the most part, when you're like with this relationship that Ryan Gosling is having with this alien life form and this friendship that he's developing on there. But there's like the premise behind it is dark, because it's a suicide mission that he's gone on, because there's only enough fuel to get them to this distant planet that they're studying, which has more of this astrophage, which is this single cell organism that is going to be the thing that saves the sun from what's attacking it and stuff. So the visually very, very stunning movie. The only thing I thought was a little strange was, I assumed that it would be a IMAX production, like it would have been filmed on IMAX cameras, and we went and saw it at the Super IMAX at Imagine, and it wasn't utilizing the entire screen, so maybe it wasn't, and that part was a little odd to me. I feel like they could have utilized it in a different way, like in a sense the way that Ryan Coogler did with Sinners, and I feel like it would have worked really well to have the varying aspect ratios, much like Coogler did, where the dramatic scenes he would make it go a little bit wider out, and you're like, whoa, it really added some cool effect to it. So that was the only small disappointment I had in it. It's not like a deep thinking sci-fi movie. It's more of like a heartwarming tale of this friendship developing, more so than like deep science fiction talk. So I think like really big sci-fi nerds probably just think this movie's all right, but as a date night movie that I went on with my girlfriend, I thought it was really enjoyable. It's really a movie about connection when it's all said and done. It's got the post-apocalyptic dystopian vibes to it, but it is much more about a developing relationship and connection between, two things. It could be a person, what have you. I'm going to stop there with talking about the plot, because I want people to be able to go and see it, and I don't want my review to ruin it, but I will state out a couple facts about it. It premiered in London on March 9th. It released in the United States by Amazon MGM Studios on March 20th, and with Sony releasing it internationally in other territories. The film has received positive reviews so far and has grossed $421 million already, becoming the second highest grossing film of 2026 so far. It's really cool to see how far Ryan Gosling has come in the world. I remember one of the first movies I remember seeing him in was Remember the Titans. So it's cool to see the longevity of his career now. You know, he's still a young guy and has been very relevant, one of the leading male actors, you know, for a long time. And he's very versatile too. He can do super dark stuff like the Drive movie, or he can do really light, funny, goofy stuff like the Barbie movie. There's this movie that he was in called A Place Beyond the Pines that I thought was really cool. And he's done a lot. There's this one, I think another one called Blue Valentine maybe, that was really interesting with him and Michelle Williams. But Ryan Gosling has had a really interesting career and I really applaud it. I think that this movie is cool. He's also one of the producers behind it. I want to talk a little bit about Philip Lord and Christopher Miller. Philip Lord and Christopher Miller are the producer and directors of the movie. They are a acting and filmmaking duo. They're much more known for their animations. They did Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, the Lego Movie, Into the Spider-Verse, and I don't know if anyone's seen Into the Spider-Verse, but that was, honest to God, one of my favorite Marvel movies ever, and it was an all animated movie because I thought the animation was so awesome. It was such a really cool style of animation. I'm happy for those guys. And then also I wanted to mention Andy Weir before I get out of here. Andy Weir is the novelist who wrote the book for this, and he also wrote The Martian, which was also adapted into a film starring Matt Damon. And so he seems like he's pretty stamped in the sci-fi world right now, and so I'm really happy about this. I might have to check out the book because I haven't read the book. My dad said he loved the book, so I'm interested to go back and read it. I really love sci-fi stuff. I really loved all the Hugh Howey stuff with the Silo series and his Sand series. It seems like sci-fi is kind of on the rise right now, especially with the dystopian narratives, and I'm about to cut another review for this book that I read called Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, which was written in the 90s and takes place in like current day, like 2024, 2027. And it's wild how much stuff she got like very close to where we're at. So that's what I'm gonna cut into next. But I highly recommend going to see this movie while it's still in theaters because the visuals were stunning. And yeah, that's what I got for you, and we will catch you next time. Peace.